Okay, so the next construction we're going to look at is constructing a congruent angle. So the first thing we're going to do to construct a congruent angle is draw a ray. So to draw a ray, what you're going to do is make a point, and I'm going to call that point R. And then what we want to do is draw a ray from there. So you just draw a straight line, a little arrow there, and we got a ray. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to use this ray to become the one side of our angle. So the next thing we got to do is we have to go up, and we're going to go up to our original angle, and we're going to put our compass center on point B. So we want that center lined up on B. And then we're going to take our compass and we're going to draw an arc, and it doesn't matter how big, how small this arc is, just a general distance there, but make sure you remember the hole that you use to draw the arc. So I used that hole there and I drew that arc. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to put the center now down on point R, and then using that same hole, so basically I'm going to get that same radius, I'm going to draw an arc that intersects my original line, or my new line that I drew. So now I have that. So let's go ahead and give these points some names so that we can reference them. We'll call this point A, and I'll call that point C. And then this point down here, we'll call that Q. Let's call it S actually. So now we have an arc here and an arc that's the same distance from R as B is to A and to C. So now we've got this congruent distance. So now what I want to do is I want to draw something, I want to make a point on this arc that's the same distance A is from C. So the way I'm going to do that is I got to figure out what's that distance from A to C. So to do that, I'm going to put my compass on point A, and then I need to find a hole on the compass, and it looks like the red part's not going to work, so I got to transition over here to the white part. I want to find a hole in the compass that lines up with point C. So I found this hole here lines up with point C fairly nicely. So now I found the distance from A to C. So what I need to do with that is I need to duplicate that distance from S. So I'm going to go to point S, put my compass center over that point S. Notice how I kept my pencil in that hole I just used to find the distance from A to C. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an arc that intersects that original arc that went through ray R. So now, if you look, I've drawn an arc that's the same distance from S as the arc here is from A. So I've duplicated that distance. So let's give this point, we'll call that point Q, where those two arcs intersected. Now what I'm going to do, because I have here a congruent distance to this distance, and now I've shown a distance from here to here that's congruent to the distance here to here. So now what I'm going to do is, if you look, point Q should be the same distance from R as A is to B, because I used that same arc that I used to get through A and C. So if I connect up that from R to Q, so I'm going to use my straight edge. Always want to use your straight edge when you're drawing a line. And I'm going to connect those two up here. Draw a little ray through point Q. And now if you look, all three of these distances here are duplicated as the distances up here. So we can say like that's congruent to that, and those two are congruent. So what that means is I have two congruent triangles here by side, side, side congruence. So that means their corresponding angle here and here must be congruent by CP/CTC. So that's why we do triangle congruence proofs before we do constructions, so we can understand why they work. Okay, so try to give this an attempt on your own and come back and watch the video a couple more times.